YBN breaking. Hii tunakuletea moja kwa moja yale yote yanazidi kutokea. Tunakuletea habari moja kwa moja kutoka kwa YBN breaking news. Habari zinazotujiri zaidi: aliyekuwa makamu rais Regathi Gachagua, mambo yake yamezidi kuhemua mambo ama mawazo tofauti au mikono tofauti katika uso na machoni pa watu.
Kithure Kindiki yuko ofisini kinyume cha sheria na yeye sasa amekuwa illegitimate deputy president.
The judiciary is confusing Kenyans.
It was illegal. Kwa sababu constitution imepatia chief justice hiyo kazi ya empowerment.
That bench was unconstitutional. Why didn't they first of all litigate on that one and agree?
Regathi Gachagua bado ni deputy president.
Ofisi ya naibu wa rais iko wazi.
Kwa hiyo process ni fraud.
Naona it's hard kutoa Kindiki waingize Gachagua.
Ule ambaye aliapishwa, mahakama inasema aliapishwa kinyume cha sheria, na huyu mwingine alikuwa impeached.
So what mimi vile najua kulingana na politics inaweza happen, maybe Gachagua atapewa rights zake hata kuwa kama mtu impeached.
So inamaanisha tu kwamba ofisi ya deputy president haina mtu sahihi.
Everything is procedural, everything is going in accordance to the court decisions.
Ukumbuke the same court ndio iliapisha iliisha Kindiki. So ndakuniambia the same court itafanya makosa irudi kwanza kuapisha mwingine.
Ile kesi ambayo Regathi Gachagua aliweka ya kupinga impeachment yake, hiyo kesi hii mahakama iweze kuharakisha ipate alikuwa impeached kihalali ama hakuwa impeached kihalali.
They were there to let this litigation go on with an illegal, with a bench that is questionable, and the Chief Justice went on to take the decisions of that unquestionable bench and install the Deputy President.
I believe unless applied in this case. Yes. And there are mistakes that the law cannot forgive. The mistake that was made and was pointed out by the Court of Appeal is a fundamental mistake in law that must be prosecuted to the highest level. The only way out for the DCJ, and she must pray very hard, is for the Supreme Court. Of course, she will not sit together with the CJ. They have
yakiendelea. Kuna mihemko inayoendelea mitandaoni kuhusu abduction, kule ambako zaidi ya watu 80 waliweza kuwa abduct. Habari hii hapa.
As I talk to you today, I don't have a single name of somebody who has been abducted or disappeared.
These are the sentiments that irked Kenyans, especially victims, parents, and families that lost their loved ones mysteriously.
All the people who disappeared or who were abducted in what you said, all of them have been brought back to their families and to their homes.
Months later, President Ruto's contradictions from denying abductions to admitting them continue to raise serious questions.
I think it is important for the president, in order to back up his commitment that Kenya will see no more abductions, that we see accountability.
If the government has returned all the abducted people, was it involved in the enforced disappearances? Amnesty International alleges that the government might be involved, and now they want the president to disclose any information about the perpetrators behind the disappearances and the legal action, if any, being taken against them.
Until you see arrests, until you see convictions, until you see dismantling of units, we are not going to see the kind of closure on this issue that we require as a nation.
The lobby group also said it has recorded 89 cases of abductions and enforced disappearances, with 20 out of the total number still missing.
As Amnesty International, we documented up to 89 cases of enforced disappearances and abductions. At least 20 of those cases have never been resolved. And I think it's important to recognize that not only did people experience the horror, the trauma, the
haya yakiendelea, wakaaji na wapangaji wa mtaa wa Ngara kuwa na misukumano ya aina ya kipekee bayana yao na wasimamizi wa City Council. Habari twazidi kuipokelea studio zetu.
Kwingineko, kulikuwa na mvutano katika mtaa wa Ngara hapa Nairobi, huku serikali ya kaunti ya jiji la Nairobi ikiwafurusha wapangaji waliokuwa na malimbikizo ya kodi ya miaka mingi iliyopita. Akizungumza na vyombo vya habari, mwakilishi wa wadi ya Ngara Chege Mwaura ameziomba mamlaka kuwapa wapangaji muda zaidi kusawazisha rekodi zao na kufanikisha malipo hayo. Hata hivyo, maafisa wa kaunti wanasema kwamba wanalenga kukusanya shilingi milioni 60 za malimbikizo ya kodi inayodai wapangaji hao.
We have sent multiple reminders beginning December last year, then towards March, and then now it is time for people to pay up. We usually have various categories of revenue payers, and there is those ones who hata uambie mtu mara ngapi bado they are not paying. So that's when something called enforcement comes in. So we are now in the enforcement window of the financial year, where it is now time for us to collect all the money out there from now the ones who are not really willing to actually come.
Yakiendelea, kulikuwa na andalizi kuhusu kupandishwa ngazi kwa wanapolisi na
Na tusalie katika suala hilo kuhusiana na masuala ya ulemavu, ambapo Jaji Mkuu Martha Koome amesema kwamba atahakikisha kila Mkenya anapata haki bila kujali maumbile. Koome alisema hayo hivi leo alipohudhuria kongamano la siku 2 la watu wenye ulemavu kutoka baadhi ya mataifa ya Afrika.
For far too long, persons with disabilities have had this gateway obstructed by structural, legal, and attitudinal challenges that undermine their full and equitable or equal participation in the justice sector. We act in solidarity towards advancing access to justice for persons with disability.
We intend to do the work that we want through legal reforms and to ensure compliance with the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Last week, we had the President assent to the Persons with Disabilities Act 2025, which, among other things, provides for effective justice for persons with disabilities and the provision of procedural and age-appropriate accommodations to all persons who interact.
Mnavi kwa mibadilisano ya picha, lakini habari inazidi kufikia ulipo. Uningania kwa utendayo wa BN News.
A study commissioned by the Alcoholic Beverages Association of Kenya and conducted by Euromonitor International reveals that illicit alcohol sales have surged by 27% since 2022, spurred by tax evasions, smuggling and unregulated brews.
You can see alcohol is the most abused. Now when we come to this particular study, it is telling us what is being consumed highly in that sector is what is illicit. And this one affects the public health of our staff.
Homemade brews like Chang'aa, Moratina and Busan dominate in volume, making up 67% of the illicit market.
As of the last research conducted during the pandemic, other countries like Uganda, which were also published online, were at 65% during the pandemic. So Kenya is not necessarily the highest on the continent. I would say that regionally the problem countries are Uganda and Kenya collectively.
This has seen the government lose 120 billion Kenya shillings every year, 73 billion Kenya shillings from tax leakage and 64 billion Kenya shillings from counterfeit.
Moja kwa moja kwa kukuletea taarifa zinazotujiri hapa YBN News.
Now, the National Police Service Commission has confirmed that it had completed a dry run of its new digital recruitment system as it prepares to shift police recruitment to an online platform. The Commission says that the system will eliminate human interaction, automate key processes, and seal corruption loopholes. Candidates will now be shortlisted digitally, with only successful applicants proceeding to physical interviews. Health checks and other requirements will also be moved to later stages. The Commission says it is awaiting budget approval from Parliament before the rollout. Meanwhile, senior police promotion interviews for the 132 officers are nearing completion.
We are confirming through these interviews that a lot of work has gone into the programs of equipping our police officers to perform better. That is why we are here today, performing interviews for those promotions that we are undertaking.
The recruitment system that we have developed has largely removed human interaction and automated major parts so that integrity can be enhanced. When we go to the field, we will only be interviewing, we will only be dealing with the people who have been shortlisted, so that we don't have so many people running. At the end of time, they are told you are not. So the only people who have been shortlisted will be able to run on the ground, and we have removed dark areas like medical.
of Health, Nairobi County. I'm the chair, I'm on the policy chair. I have a team of 23 members, and we are on a first finding mission we have walked through almost eateries and supermarkets. Now we are here at Naivas Supermarket, Moi Avenue, and we have realized that one, there are expired products which are being put in the shelf, rendering Nairobians to be at a risk because of the food safety. Number two, we have come up and found that most of people who are handling the food are not being tested. So we therefore, as a committee, resolved that we close all the Naivases so that they can be tested and be given certificates so that they are able to serve the Nairobians. The most important thing is about food safety, and we will not sit back. And we are urging the CEC, Madam Susan Silantoi, to move with the speed to make sure that Nairobians are safe under food, because most of these facilities have expired products. For example, we have Daima yogurt, which is expired and is being put in the shelf, and Nairobians are buying expired products. With this one, KCC, Daylight yogurt, there is no shelf life. So even the clients are not able to know when it's expired.
Now, a family in Kayole is seeking justice for their kin who was murdered in cold blood, allegedly by her boyfriend in Kayole. The late Sharon Kate was allegedly stabbed multiple times by her partner after a domestic quarrel in the presence of her 11-year-old son. And the suspect, only identified as Sami, fled the scene when the minor ran out to seek help. Police say they have launched a manhunt for the suspect.
A grisly murder in Kayole has left a family shattered and a community in shock. The 40-year-old woman, identified as Sharon Kate, was brutally killed in front of her 11-year-old son, allegedly by her partner, following a domestic quarrel. Her family is still in shock over the gruesome murder and how her 11-year-old son was forced to watch as his mother's life was cut short at the hands of a man she had lived with for 2 years.
Duka visu mingi sana, zaidi ya 10 kwa kichwa, na ya uchungu ni mwenye aliconfirm ni mtoto.
Ukiona mmekosana na bwana yako ama ni boyfriend ama ni girlfriend, ningeomba mtu anatoka tu.
Kwa ameuliwa na alikufa kifo cha unyama kabisa. Kwa amedungwa visu mingi sana. Tena sasa hii umemsimamishia maisha yake, umemuua tu kifo yenye iko akufe. Umemuua tu akiwa sawa, akiwa mzima, kama yuko mgonjwa.
According to the police, the suspect used a kitchen knife to stab the woman several times on the head. The suspect is still on the run and police are urging anyone with information to come forward.
Uchunguzi inaendelea na DCI ya Kayole.
Huo ndio mwisho wa yanayotujiri huku YBN News. Hadi wakati mwingine.